It's the SKOR North Twins Show. Baseball!
All right, SKOR North Twins Show. Mackie, Judd, Dex here. State of the Twins every Monday right here on the SKOR North Twins Show podcast feed and the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe button here. Had an extra innings recap from a great series in Seattle. I know it was only one of three for the Twins result-wise. It certainly could have been better. Sign me up for a playoff series if that's how those games are going to go, man. Those were fun. Those were fun, high-intensity games.
Yeah, that was extra innings, crazy historical comeback in that it was more of a historical comeback in how much you poured it on after you tied it and to win a game, Friday night. 6 runs after being down 3 with 2 outs in the ninth. It was fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So we will do a vibe check here. We'll do our favorite thing, our least favorite thing. But before we do that, a little overview here of your Minnesota Twins, who are now 31-27 on the season. They are in third place in the AL Central, and they're 7 games back in the division. Taking a look here at the wild card standings, because the Twins, the Royals, the Guardians are all kind of jumbled right up in there. Right now, the Twins are a half game up in the wild card race. They're a game back from the top spot in Cleveland, but Toronto's breathing down your neck, who are coming here to Target Field this weekend. Kansas City's a game back. It's a big jumbled mess there in the wild card race, which is why this whole thing was basically created. Taking a look at some key categories, Twins are 23rd in runs scored, 23rd in team offensive OPS. They are 4th with runners in scoring position. That's probably what honestly doomed them in that series against Seattle, even though, yes, the Friday outpouring in the 9th and 10th inning looked good. I believe just 4 for 21 with runners in scoring position with, I think, 15 or 16 left on base in the last 2 games. So a lot of guys left on over the last 2 games. But pitching-wise, team ERA, this team is 6th. In starter ERA, they're 5th. And in bullpen ERA, they are also 5th. Playoff odds. Again, we have 2 sites that are giving completely 2 different formulas and projections here. Baseball Reference gives the Twins a 23.9% chance to be a playoff team, which is down almost 13% in the last 7 days since we've done a State of the Twins. Fangraphs has given the Twins a 67% chance. Their playoff odds went up by a percentage point in the last 7 days. So Fangraphs says this team is more than likely a playoff team. Baseball Reference says, probably less than 4 chance that this team is a postseason team. I could probably ask, how is the sausage made here? But yeah, 2 sites that are saying, in my opinion, 2 completely different things. Vibe check, though. What is the vibe check? Twins wrapping up this longest road trip of the season here. 4 games against the Athletics before returning home at Target Field. Judd, you want to give us a vibe check here after we're a little bit more than halfway through this road trip?
Sure. The vibes are cooling a bit when it comes to the bats. So the pitching's outstanding. I mean, pitching's just been really solid. But when it comes to the bats, so the Twins entered May 13-18, okay? Since then, including the loss yesterday, which is June 1st, they're 18-9. So they're at 31-27. They're in the 3rd wild card spot. And by the way, playoff odds in baseball now, I almost don't care about because of what happens with the wild card. The old days, it made a ton of sense, right? It doesn't make as much sense now. But they have lost 2 or 3 to Tampa to start with, and then to the M's in what was a really fun series, as you just talked about. And in those losses, they have scored 1-1, 2-0, 4, and 1 run. So the bats are cooling. I think we all might have, just a little tease here, the same least favorite thing, and it's worthy of a real conversation because it's become downright damn concerning. But yeah, pitching, awesome. Bats, as Baldelli said post-game on Sunday, we got to score a bit more.
Yeah, excuse me. Wow. I came out of the gate like the number 9 hitter.
You choked up about the Twins?
I am. I'm choked up because my guy Royce Lewis is getting, as you alluded to, pinch hit for in clutch situations now as the number 9 hitter. But we can get to all that. Twins vibes are, I'm going to say this, Twins vibes are settled into the exact spot they were meant to be the first week in June if you were to go back to what we thought this team was going to be in spring training. If you would have told me in spring training, because I was out there, people said you should delete this after they started poorly. I said, I think they can win the division and like flirt with 90 wins. And like before the season, you look at this team, rock solid pitching staff on paper. Best bullpen in baseball, was a little aggressive, although they've been much closer to that than not through the first couple months of the season. But a lineup that has some questions and young players and a lot of projection, and all of it put into a stew again before the season. If you would have said 31-27 going into June, does that sound about right? I would have said yes. A team that is playing at an 86 win pace, trying to scratch and claw to maybe a 90 win season if they can make an addition or if a young guy or two can break out. So it's been a roundabout kind of wild way to get to 31-27, where you were buried 8 games below 500, then you win 13 games in a row, and now you've kind of settled in. You've lost a couple series here, but Twins vibes are they're finally centered where they were probably supposed to be months ago, projecting the season.
My vibes these are critical vibes here. So the road trip hasn't gone as you would like it to be. Losing 2 of 3 in both of these series to start. Athletics are sliding a little bit here. They got off to a nice start earlier this year, but I think they got swept by Toronto in a 4-game series. Now Toronto's playing a lot better too. But if you can come out of this series by taking 3 of 4, which is a tall ask, but if you can come out taking 3 of 4 against this team, coming back home, I think you kind of chalk this road trip up to a win. So there are some good things there, but this is a critical point. If you lose again, like you lose 3 of 4, let's say you lose 3 of 4 to the Athletics, like you're not skidding like you were at the beginning of the year, but I mean, just 3 wins to show for it on this lengthy road trip obviously is not ideal. Let's have the Royce Lewis conversation here, because Phil brought up the point of, hey, if I told you on June 1st they'd be 4 games over 500. Well, I talked about this in extra innings yesterday. If you were to tell me the scenario of on June 1st, Royce Lewis is batting 9th and being pinched hit for in a situation, and I know it's just one guy, but how would you think the Twins season was going if you just said that in a vacuum? If you said that to me before the season started, I probably would have said, well, something is off with this team. And this team has certainly rebounded with its pitching. We can talk about the whole Chris Paddock thing, which I also want to discuss, but Royce Lewis is being pinched hit for. He has just 9 hits, I believe now, in 70-plus at-bats. He's in another big skid. I know our guy Trevor Plouffe, who I'm super excited to talk to tomorrow, who was on the call this weekend and is on the call again against the Athletics, said, I think Royce needs a pat on the back and a hug, and, hey, dude, you're not going anywhere. Ooh, getting pinched hit for and batting 9th and just not making solid contact with the ball at all at times. It's concerning. Like this is a concern for me watching Royce Lewis over the last 2 weeks.
I think he might need a reset in St. Paul. Like I don't know that he has not now had within the course of his time back, which by the way he came back on like May 5th or something like that. So he has now had 2 slumps of near or over 30 at bats with no hits. So I declared 2 weeks ago after the Twins played the Brewers and Royce homered and then Jackson Chourio robbed him of a second home run in the same game. I declared that he was my favorite thing because it was clear to me, to my baseball savvy eye, sports dad, that he's coming out of this slump and it's going to be Royce season now. Since that time, gentlemen, he is 1 for 32, 1 hit. And by the way, that hit came in the next game, the next night against Cleveland. So he has not had a hit since then. At some point in time here, I don't know and I know it's a slap in the face potentially, but I don't know that you're doing him any favors by having him fail and fail and fail again. And when he says, and I know he didn't mean this as like the end of the world for him, but when he said in Tampa, there is no hope, like I don't even think I'm going to get luck right now. I think you have to go down the road of potentially drastic measures, which by the way, pinch hitting for him in the 8th is drastic. I think the next step might be just a hard reboot of the computer, perhaps with the Saints.
I would give him for sure the next 4 games at this minor league ballpark.
I agree with that.
Like I would just see if you can get something going. he just anecdotally, he just kind of looks uncomfortable at the plate. You know, the open stance that's more pronounced, and even like there was a couple pitches it was his last at bat before they brought in Brooks Lee for the final one in the 8th. He just like he's kind of jumpy, like his back foot is moving as he's like those little sliders kind of off the edge from a right-handed pitcher. And he's kind of, instead of just tracking those and keeping your framework, he's kind of lunging and jumpy. And oftentimes, and I don't know, maybe Dex has intel on this, but when guys open their stance, it's because they don't feel like they're seeing the ball or tracking the ball well out of a pitcher's hand too. It just gives you a little bit better angle. But now you have a lot of work to do to close up, and it can be something that actually hurts your mechanics long term too. I don't know. I'm not a mechanics expert when it comes to baseball. I would give him the rest of the week for sure. But you're trying to score runs and you're trying to put the bat on the ball, and maybe a month down crushing AAA pitching is what ignites him for the second half of the season. You'd like for that to, if he's going to start crushing pitching and igniting, you'd like that to happen for the major league team. That's the only worry, is like one game it could click in for him, and boom, you waste 2 weeks of that down at AAA. They've done that before with like Matt Wallner will hit 15 home runs for the Saints. It's like, okay, well, if you would have timed this up better, maybe he could have delivered something for your offense. So, but yeah, I generally agree, but I'd be a little more patient with him.
Yeah. And he's made the point to me that, the jump obviously from seeing AAA pitching to Major League pitching is humongous, with obviously the pitching that you're seeing at a Major League level versus AAA level. I made this point in extra innings yesterday. It's not like anyone also in AAA is pushing him for like Jose Miranda hasn't done it. Edward Julian's still struggling. Like there's no one in AAA that you're like, hey, let's get a look at this guy. Let's get a look at this player on the infield side. They're doing kind of fine with their rotating of players and Brooks Lee, Jonah Bride, Cody Clemens, etc. Like they're good there. But man, yeah, if they also can't just waste at bats at this point with him batting ninth and being pinched at 4 at all.
But the way that I see the situation unfolding too, though, is this is about him. Like it's not about hey, he's being pushed and so this guy is going to come up and replace him. At some point in time, you need to get him right. Like this is your future. He is a huge part potentially. So I'm not even talking about like that there might be a player at AAA who's hot who replaces him. I'm more worried about just him right now. And Phil's right. He looks uncomfortable. I would be curious to know, just hypothetically throw this out there. I would be curious to know how much any type of nagging hamstring issue could cause you problems at the plate. Because I will say this, I have not personally seen him run full speed, which, by the way, I don't blame him.
There haven't been that many opportines either. Well, I guess he's hitting some weak grounders.
He's hit some, but he's hit.
There's been a few.
There's been a few, and Phil, like he is like literally like jogging it out.
Well,
but anyway, that's not my point on the bases. What I'm saying is, it's clear that it's clear something is still up at least a little bit, and so I would love to know if that could affect your approach at the plate. Because he is so far away from looking like anything we have seen in the past. I guess I'd be surprised if it's just a complete mechanical breakdown on his part. Just a thought.
Yeah, the hamstring definitely, I knew when he first came back, it still was not at 100%. Like, it wasn't. So he was able to play through that. And I know there was a Wave-'em-home Watkins situation on Saturday, but Wallner's turn, Wallner's hamstring's not at 100. Wallner moves a lot better than that, and it was a slow turn. He's not going as hard as he's used to. Like, yes, there is definitely something with the hamstring that lingers there. I'll give you another least favorite thing that's not Royce, and it's Chris Paddock, who is shoving right now and getting 0 run support and wins to show for it. In the last 10 starts by Chris Paddock, here's what you got from Chris Paddock over the last 10 starts. He's giving you an ERA of 2.17. He struck out 46 batters in 58 innings. He goes 8 innings. He's gone 7+ in 3 of those 10 starts.
It's crazy.
The Twins have won 3 of those games. In the last 10 starts from Chris Paddock shoving, the offense has rewarded him with 3 wins, and he's only getting 2.3 runs per start from the offense. So Paddock has turned things around. And when you have a pitcher that's going deep into the 7th and 8th inning, I mean, my God, it barely even happens anymore in baseball. And you're getting this great run from Chris Paddock, and he got 3 wins to show for it. Very frustrating.
And in half of those 10, they've scored 1 or 0 specifically.
Yeah.
So, and yesterday again, it's like this dude is, he is continuing to show how wrong I was about him before the season. I'll just speak for myself, not other members of the show. But
I'm waiting for him to melt down a little bit still. So,
I mean, maybe the other shoe drops at some point, but this is the best he has pitched and the best results and the healthiest he's been since 2019 with the Padres. And he's doing it in I mean, that is the biggest, at least at the time in 2019, pitcher-friendly park in America. You could argue that T-Mobile in Seattle has become that now on the American League side. But, yeah, this dude, the Twins have been so patient with him through injuries, extending him when it looked like, what's the point? You're trying to replicate something now from 6 years ago. Clearly I was wrong because he's been statistically their best starting pitcher over that 10-start stretch. He had a clunker in the first one, kind of a rough one in the second one. And to have a 2.17 ERA over 10 starts is wild. This is probably the best stretch of his career.
I thought that the headline, though, for Sunday from Paddock's perspective is Rocco allowed him to throw 110 pitches.
Bullpen was taxed, too.
I was, but I mean, I was still, like, I don't think a couple of years ago with a taxed bullpen that he would have allowed a starter to throw 110 pitches. I thought that was remarkable.
Which, by the way, bravo. The guy is he's going to be 30 years old.
I'm not insulting it.
He's not supposed to be. I know. He's not supposed to be. I'm not arguing with you.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was saying it was a bad thing on Rocco's part. I'm not.
No. I'm saying the guy is not part of the probably like the. You're not going to give him a big. I don't think, anyways. You're going to give him a big contract. So, like, if he flames out because you threw him 110 pitches, it's not like going to ruin your franchise in 3 years. So you might, if he's hot, you might as well ride him for this period.
Okay, so I was at a wedding on Saturday and missed this. Why are we sending a runner with a bad hamstring to try to score? Like, was that a terrible send? Was that I was just shocked it was a guy coming off a hamstring problem more than anything.
Yeah, a little bit of both. The wave him home walk-ins and the walk-ins criticizes were, I mean, out in full force for that. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have sent him. I will say an absolute dart though from Julio in center field. Like it was a shallow center field and deep for Safeco. A shallow center field is more maybe normal depth at other ballparks. Mm-hmm. But I probably wouldn't have sent him. But again, I don't think Matt Wallner was like at full strength to be running. You're in the top of the 10th, and when you're in the 10th and the 11th inning, you get the Manfred man, like you do got to bring him home. So like 2 failed situations, poor execution. On the pie chart, probably more on Watkins, but it was just there was a lot of things I think working against that send.
Can I throw out one more least favorite thing while we're going through our least favorite things here? It was Carlos Correa getting ejected, not because I'm disappointed in Correa for getting ejected, because whatever, like you're gonna chirp a little bit. It's the first time he's ever been ejected in his career. And he even said after the game, he did not plan on getting ejected ever in his career. So he's kind of known where that line is. But this is a second-year Major League umpire. Is it Aaron Jones? Aaron something? Naga. Not gonna be called. Not gonna umpire one.
Austin Jones.
Austin Jones.
Not
an ideal time to get tossed because it's the 7th inning of a close game. I think the Twins were leading at the time, then they gave it up. But it goes into extra innings, and they eventually lose the game. But it's my least favorite thing because of how dumb it is that umpires hold so much power compared to other referees and officials in other sports. It's either the power that they hold or it's the fragile egos that they wield. If you look at some of the other sports, like in basketball, in the NBA, if you chirp an official, you get a technical foul. They say, hey, you are chirping too much. That is a bad word. You need to stop yelling at me. Technical foul. And what happens is the opposing team might get a point. They send someone to the free throw line and they shoot a free throw. Sometimes they miss it and there's really no penalty other than like, now if you get another technical, you're out of the game. But you're allowed to get mad and emotional and tell the official, you're an idiot, you were wrong, without getting thrown out of the game just right away, right? I would argue in football and hockey, There's almost nothing you can do short of physical contact with a referee to get thrown out of a game. I've never seen an NFL head coach get thrown out of a game. Players only get thrown out if they do something to an opposing player, like targeting or like an illegal hit of some kind. The degree to which NFL referees get yelled at and demeaned by coaches and players, and they just stand there and take it. Hockey, it's a little bit more, but like in hockey, you see coaches leaning over and saying the worst.
Though.
You don't get ejected.
You might get a minor penalty, a bench.
Why
penalty.
in baseball, listen, this is an emotional game. We're all hyper competitive. We're alphas. And by the way, we now have an accountability system that shows how wrong you are as a ball and strike caller. So I'm more empowered as a manager and a player knowing like, dude, you're going to look at that later. We already saw it over here in the back. That's a bad call. And they know you're probably right because they're the only ones, the umpires, without access to the K zone within a reasonable amount of time. So why can't I get a little emotional, clap an umpire, and not have his ego fly off the handle and throw me out of the game? Why can't we at least either A, like just take it, for God's sakes, all the other officials in the other sports take it, or B, why can't we create a middle ground, like a technical foul? Okay, Carlos, I warned you 3 times. It's a technical foul. That's an automatic strike for the batter or something, and not throw your best player out of the game. It's so ridiculous.
The rabbit ears thing is just, and it's always been a baseball problem. It feels like it's coming back more now, though. I felt that there were a few years where the rabbit ears went down a little bit, but now, yeah, I mean, plate umpires are absolutely the worst because, I mean, Correa was not wrong about what he was saying. The dude was calling strikes that were low and being framed because he was being fooled by the catcher, who he should be mad at for making him look like a moron by framing, but instead he throws Correa out. And yes, I agree completely. I thought that's ridiculous. And at least if you're like with the rules currently as constructed, if you're going to toss a guy, know who you're tossing.
Yeah.
Like if you toss Jonah Bride, okay, I got a minor nit with you. You toss Carlos Correa, who's up next, who, by the way, with the way he's going right now at the plate, could decide a game.
These are the most thin-skinned humans in all of sports. Major League Baseball umpires, especially the young ones who come in and they're trying to overcompensate, make their mark, right? I'm the boss of this. Like, dude, no, you're not. You need to take a deep breath and let alpha athletes get frustrated once in a while. Also knowing that you may think you're right, but the statistics show that you are going to blow like 20 ball and strike calls. And guys are going to get rightfully pissed about it. And you're being hung out to dry by Major League Baseball because it's Major League Baseball's fault that we allow these humans to sit back there and make mistakes when we have technology that can correct it. Right. But like it's all part of a system that empowers thin-skinned umpires way more than it should.
And if you're right or wrong, though, the problem is, and this is the thing that nobody knows, what's the threshold? Like, what's the line? Because it goes from guy to guy. Like, it goes from umpire to umpire as far as what they'll take. And again, this kid had no, he throws out, like, if he throws out Baldelli, okay. But you throw out a guy on deck who could decide the game.
Yeah.
And you've got the power to just, okay, and now who pinch hits for him? So
dude,
anyway.
Can you imagine?
I'm with you totally.
One last thing on this. Like, Timberwolves fans. By the way, brand new Flagrant Howls YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It's just youtube.com/@FlagrantHowls. You can also find a link to it on my pinned Twitter account. There's a pinned tweet there. But can you imagine watching one of these like Lakers-Wolves first-round playoff games or Western Conference Finals, Oklahoma City and Timberwolves? It's a winner-go-home game, and SGA or Anthony Edwards claps an official. And yet they might call it technical and say, dude, you need to take a step back. Tactical foul. They're going to shoot a free throw. Okay. But if the first punishment was you're out of the game, yeah, just your best player's out of the game. It's so stupid.
Yep.
Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You're welcome. Favorite Twins things coming up, but how about you just hop on the motorcycle and you calm down. You're watching all this damn umpires ruining games. You can make sure those parts and accessories are all stocked up with your motorcycles.
Yeah, and they're not running an ump show at Running Aces Casino this weekend, but they are running the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk. That's Saturday, June 7th, this weekend, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it's free to register your bike. So if you've been working hard on building maybe something from the ground up or renovating a bike in your garage, this is the place to show it off. Over 15 different class awards to be handed out. Kids and families are welcome. It's the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk at Running Aces Casino on Saturday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. DennisKirk.com for more details, Dex.
Yeah, also Element Hotel. So all you Toronto fans, all right? We got Toronto coming to town, probably one of the best traveling fan bases that come to Target Field every year. And you're looking for a place to stay? How about the Element Hotel? It's literally steps away from Target Field. And when you go to, you can go to scorenorth.com/element to get a 15% room rate discount too. So you can just walk to Target Field. You can check out all the great happenings in the North Loop as well. Shout out to Element Hotel for helping us out on the SKOR North Twins Show. I'll jump in for my favorite thing, and it's how wrong I have been in the last 72 hours on two guys. I told you on Thursday I would entertain trading Trevor Larnach because he doesn't do anything great, and I would also move on from Willi Castro. Since I said those words, these two combined in the last 4 games have 14 hits, 3 home runs, 8 RBI, 5 runs scored. They were a major catalyst in the Friday win over Seattle. I know, small sample size alert, but Trevor Larnach and Willi Castro had some big series here. They needed to get, obviously, some of these guys going with the offense struggling at times. These two dudes were awesome, and I said I'm interested in the mystery box that is Emmanuel Rodriguez. I checked with someone on Emmanuel, like how ready is he, and I was told, oh, he is not even close to ready. Even though the stats look good, there are still things in his game offensively he is far away from being close to the big leagues. So you can look at the box scores, you can look at, last 10, 30 games, that's fine, but you need to get some eye tests on there. And Manuel Rodriguez still probably not as ready as I would like him to be, but a shout out to Trevor Larnach and Willi Castro to proving how wrong Dex Tweets was just 72 hours ago.
At least one of them watches the show.
They might.
And they heard you.
If they need the motivation of Declan ripping them at the end of May on the SKOR North Twins Show, then okay.
It's what we do here. It's what we do. We make people better through our criticisms, and they say, "Oh, we're going to go out and show Declan Goff."
Awesome. Let's. Who else can we criticize? I'll jump into. I think my favorite Twins thing is Matt Wallner and Byron Buxton being back.
Yeah.
And I know there's a little question about whether Wallner is 100%. Buxton, even missing a couple weeks there, on pace for one of the best seasons of his career offensively, and he can still hold his own range-wise in center. And I say that because at this point in the season, in terms of OPS plus, 2 of your 4 best offensive producers are Cody Clemens and Harrison Bader. And you need to bank, if those guys continue to produce the next 4 months like they have in the first part of the season, it's a massive bonus for you. But you have to prepare and brace for regression from both those guys. Harrison Bader has a lengthy track record of being who he is as a hitter over the course of a full season. This is one of the great 2-month stretches of his offensive career. So you're probably going to get some balancing out, and you've seen a little bit of that in the last few weeks. He's not going to be one of your best hitters at the end of the season, and if he is, your offense is a train wreck. And Cody Clemens has been an awesome story, but again, he's 29 years old. He's been largely a career utility guy or minor leaguer. Treat him like a bonus, not like a centerpiece. So Wallner and Buxton coming back help to mitigate maybe some of the regression you're going to see from players who won't be able to carry this lineup for 6 months. Welcome back.
Mine is this. If you have a decent team, so if your team is a train wreck, which, by the way, the Twins were in April, but have been good or at least very solid since, every season has like a game or two where it just stands out. And you go into the game and you don't know what game it's going to be, and you're watching it, and you're like, oh, ho-hum. Friday night was that type of game. Friday night was like one of those, man, this has turned into a really fun, memorable game. You're down by, 3 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. Munoz, who is the American League saves leader, is on the mound. You are dead to rights. You come back and tie it, and then add on 6 runs to win 12-6 in the 10th. And by the way, Carlos Correa starts the 10th with a home run. He went 0 for 4 on Sunday, but in the first 5 games of this trip, 6 for 14, a double, 2 home runs. I'm sorry, 7 for 18, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 runs driven in. Absolutely fantastic. But I thought Friday night was it's one of those super compelling games where you just start with, it's the Twins and Mariners on a Friday, and it ends with, oh my God, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's some of these late night games get weird. I feel like
they do.
Twins Mariners games sometimes. Yeah.
We got more. We got 9 p.m. starts locally here the next 3 days.
The A's could be really weird too. Like these games,
weird stadium, weird opponent. Yeah, all of it.
I do love though how in the course of one trip you are going to have to play 3 series, and 2 of them are in ballparks that are in no way, shape, or form fit for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's this is such a.
Can we please get into Major League ballparks? It's ridiculous.
Well, it's funny because in the A's were. Like they're all, they're hell bent on this Vegas thing, but they literally had. Usually, you would kind of do this ready to rock and roll and go play in a stadium. So, well, you can't just go play outdoors. They need an indoor structure. They need some air conditioning if you want fans to be comfortable. So they're just stuck in this weird middle ground. Anyways,
hit that like button, subscribe button. Trevor Plouffe's been on the call with the Twins. He was on the call in Seattle. He was on the call with the Athletics, and he'll join us from I'm guessing, Sacramento area hotel air. Man, I'm guessing travel director Mike Herman for the Twins has ample hotels, but I'd be curious to see what the situation is like getting a whole team and crew their proper hotels and stays there near that ballpark.
Sacramento's not like Andover, Minnesota.
It's not Andover.
It's a fairly large American city. They have the Sacramento Kings, NBA teams travel there. I think you're discrediting Sacramento.
I think well, the stadium you're right on, but the city is not.
Hyatt.
It's not. It's the capital.
I'm looking at 5-star hotels in Sacramento.
And now you're regretting your.
That was a Sheraton. There's a Westin. Okay, yeah, there's the
Heavenly
Bag.
Totally
Sacramento has a population of 526,000 people. Sacramento not media market, but the actual city of Sacramento, I think, is it bigger than Minneapolis?
Probably.
It is.
Probably.
Minneapolis is 425,000. Sacramento is 526,000.
I just discredit
the degradation of Sacramento on this podcast.
The DoubleTree Embassy Suites, a lot of great. Good job.
You
Good
thought
job
they were at some roadside motel, like some small flea bag, like the Bates Motel. No Wi-Fi.
Where do the Lakers stay in Sacramento? A Motel 6? I don't
know.
They can just get an Airbnb. They just get a big ass Airbnb. But yeah, Trevor Plouffe will join us tomorrow from his eloquent, beautiful, exquisite Sacramento hotel on the SKOR North Twins Show. Hit that like button and subscribe button. Appreciate you guys. We'll be talking at you tomorrow.